Hi, I'm Raina Telgemeier. I'm the author and illustrator of Smile, Sisters, and Guts, all published by Scholastic Graphix. And I'm here today to moderate the Graphix Out Loud Kids Comics Come to Life panel from New York Comic Con. Today I am joined by some wonderful folks who have graphic novels coming out this season from Graphix. I am here with Varian Johnson and Shannon Wright, the author and illustrator of Twins. Maria Scrivan, the author and illustrator of Forget Me Nat, and Penelope Bageiu, the illustrator of The Witch's graphic novel. So today we're going to hear from everybody. Some questions from the audience are coming up at the end, but we're each going to do a reading from our respective books. And so first we have Shannon and Varian, who are going to share with us a few pages from their brand new graphic novel, Twins. Shannon and Varian, welcome.
Thanks so much, Raina. Shannon, hey, how you doing?
Hey, Varian.
Okay, we are going to read the opening of Twins here. And let's jump right into it.
Yeah.
6th grade, first day of the rest of your lives. Remember, try new things, make new friends. It's okay if you're not the smartest.
Dad, this line is super long. Can you let us out here?
Sure thing. What do you say, Maureen? Maureen? Sure, I guess. Never mind. I'll drop you guys up off front.
But Dad...
Patience, Francine.
Dad, this line isn't even moving. Do you really want us to be late on the first day of school?
Save your breath. We're staying in line. Tap, tap. I'm going to be cutting it close for that meeting.
Ding!
Sorry, Maureen. Y'all better get out after all.
Yes!
Kiss.
Stop studying your schedule. It won't be that bad.
You're not the one stuck in Cadet Corps and First Lunch.
There'll be plenty of other kids who you know in First Lunch.
Name 3.
Well, at least you don't have to take PE. I'll be sweaty before noon.
You saying you want to trade Cadet Corps for gym?
You know me. I look horrible in olive green.
Ugh.
Why are you so stressed? You're going to ace your classes. You always do.
Yeah, but...
But what? Come on, Maureen. Can't you try to pretend like you want to be here? There. There. Better. Any other problems?
Yeah, you missed the call this morning.
Who? Nikki?
The 80s. They want their hat back.
Hey, Amber, be honest. Do you like my hat?
Dad had a saying for the two of us.
Throwback. Love it, Maureen. I'm not... Never mind. Thanks.
Francine was the talker, and I was the thinker.
You should have asked if she had first lunch.
There's no way I could sit with Amber, and you should have asked her. Well, that's the way it used to be. Something was happening with Francine. She was changing, pulling away.
Are those the Carter twins? Whoa, they're super smart. They graduated at the top of our 5th grade class.
It didn't hit me until she bought that ridiculous hat and t-shirt. She wanted to make sure no one at school confused us.
Nice retro kicks, Maureen.
Though, thanks to a computer glitch, we only had advisory, science, and language arts together.
Whoa, twins! I heard this joke about twins once.
She should have saved her money. And that's the opening of Twins.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
So then a couple of questions. Number one, and actually first thing I want to say is, Shannon, I love your earrings. I see that you've got one side that says Maureen and one side that says Francine. Those are super cute.
Thank you.
What was it like for the two of you working together to tell Maureen and Francine's story?
Do you want to start, Varian?
Sure. It was very collaborative, more collaborative than I've ever, I've ever worked on with someone on a project. We both had a lot of input on crafting the narrative and the girls and the flow of the story. And it was scary at first, but then it felt very natural to kind of get Shannon's feedback and her to get mine. I really enjoyed it, and I think it made the project better. But maybe I'm just talking for me.
No. I agree. No, I agree with Varian. This is the most collaborative I've ever worked on a book. I've done picture books before, and it's nothing like this. So it was a new challenge, but Varian trusted me a lot, and I trusted him a lot. And I think the finished product turned out to be something amazing that like couldn't have came to be without us just like having that collaborative and that communication and stuff. So.
And it did read seamlessly. It felt like it just came from, it's just one story. It's one story of two girls. And I'm so proud of you two for making it.
Thank you, Raina.
We're going to move on to Maria next. So Maria Scrivan is here today to read from her new book in the Nat series, Nat Enough.
So I'm going to read a chapter from Forget Me Nat. And the orthodontist was a little too cheery this early in the morning. And on today of all days, perfect smile, duh. In orthodontist school, there must be a class called How to Understand Mumbles 101, and this guy passed with flying colors. How are you doing today, Natalie? I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine, thanks. What are your favorite classes? I like art and science too. Yes, you'll be fine to go to school today. Darn. Okay, we're just about done. Remember to wear your rubber bands every day. Rubber bands? How can I talk to Derek if I can't open my mouth for the next 5 years? Rubber bands? Ew. This is the worst Friday the 13th ever. I told my mom I needed a get out of jail free card, except for braces. She said she wishes they were free. Braces is one of those words that looks exactly like it sounds, except when you're wearing them. Then it's more like braces. Here are some of the things I'm supposed to avoid while wearing braces. Candy apples, hard candy, gum, nuts, corn on the cob, popcorn, caramel, saltwater taffy. Basically anything delicious. What is that exactly? Is that made with salt water, or is it only sold near salt water? Some people would look good wearing braces, but not me. If Lily had them, she would look cute. If Alex had them, she would look cool. If a movie star had them, she would look glamorous. And then there's me, megawatt dork alert. And if you kiss someone who also has braces, your faces could get locked together. Maybe Derek will get braces. If there's anybody I want to be stuck to, it's him. I can't believe I have to go to school after getting braces. I guess I can just talk out of the side of my mouth, or maybe through a ventriloquist puppet, but that might be weird. And tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Maybe Derek will bring me flowers, or chocolates, or write me a poem. I'm sure he'll ask me to Valentine's dance. I waited all day for Derek to ask me to the dance. You doing anything fun tomorrow? Not that I can think of. There's some great stuff on the bulletin board. Yeah, I guess. Talk about not taking the hint. He's probably just being shy. I'll ask him. Hey, Derek, you want to go to the Valentine's dance with me? Natalie, I really like you. As a friend. Right, as friends. Okay, cool. Hey, do you think Lily's going? See you there. And that's Forget Me Nat.
So one of the most common questions I think authors get asked is, where do you get your ideas? But it feels to me like these ideas are coming from possibly a real place. So how much of Nat's story is inspired by your own childhood?
So much of her story is inspired, especially Nat Enough. And I feel like I created Natalie based on my childhood self, but then it got really interesting because she took on a life of her own and ended up teaching me all kinds of amazing things. And from Nat Enough, the idea was sort of be more of who you are. And Forget Me Nat was don't forget who you are. and this idea of the most important relationship being the one we have with ourselves. But the braces section especially was definitely from personal experience, as was asking someone to the dance and them saying no. So I did get a lot of ideas from personal experience.
The things that tend to hurt when we're kids. They
Oh,
make
absolutely.
great material when we're writers later.
Yep,
Thanks,
absolutely.
Maria.
Thank you.
So next we're going to hear from Penelope Bageiu, who is going to read from her new graphic novel, The Witches.
Sure. So this is a part when the grandmother is explaining about the witches to her grandson. So the main thing you need to know about witches is that they're not actual women, but they look like any ordinary woman. It could be her, or even your new teacher when school starts up. Oh no, don't say that. I'm regretting going back. Now, luckily, there are some foolproof signs to distinguish a witch from a woman. They're not obvious, but I know what they are, so listen very carefully. Forget about all those ridiculous witches and fairy tales. All those silly ideas were invented long ago at a time when people believed they were seeing witches everywhere. It didn't take much for a woman to be accused of being a witch. People were suspicious of unruly old women and believed they had evil powers. So that means they might have called you a witch? That's entirely possible. Just getting together with your friends was considered suspicious. Simply not having a husband or treating your cold with herbal remedies was enough to get you accused of dancing naked with the devil. And in order to prove you were definitely a witch, they would throw you in the water to see if you float. She sank. I suppose she was innocent. And they'd find very persuasive ways to get you to confess. Okay, yes, I am a witch, a unicorn, a parrot, anything you want. Oddly enough, old men were never accused. The creatures I'm talking about have nothing in common with those poor women who were hunted for no reason. They don't have warts or pointy hats, and as far as I know, they have better things to do than dance around in the nude. But most importantly, these witches are very dangerous, and they always take the form of a woman. But why? Well, it's just the way it is. Vampires and werewolves, they look like men, and, well, witches look like women. But they're twice as dangerous as vampires and werewolves, especially for kids, and they're everywhere. They live all over the world. They wear ordinary clothes, have ordinary jobs and friends. That's why they're so hard to spot. But what they all have in common is their dislike, their disgust, their red-hot sizzling hatred of children. They can't stand children. Kids literally make them want to vomit. A witch's sole desire is to get rid of all the children one at a time, stamp them out, put them through the grinder. One child per week, minimum. Otherwise, they get really grumpy. Wow, how do they kill them? Now that, even as a witchophile, I can't say exactly. But one thing is certain, a witch carefully picks her prey, then stalks it with cat-like stealth. When the time is just right, she pounces on her victim, and then whoosh, the child vanishes. What? How? I have no idea. At any rate, no witch has ever been caught by the police or gone to prison. And that's it.
Thank you, Penelope. Your graphic novel is based on a beloved novel, which is by Roald Dahl. Can you just tell us what it was like to adapt something that so many people have already read and is beloved by so many?
It was very easy, actually, because I know the book by heart, and I've been reading it over and over again since I was 8. So I really have a very precise idea of what the characters look like, and all the scenes that really terrified me, I knew exactly how I wanted to set them up. And so everything was pretty natural, and I thought it would be kind of intimidating to start working on a book that is so beloved by everyone, especially by me, actually. But it wasn't, oddly enough, because it was like it was already ready in my mind, ready to be drawn, ready to be written. So it was very easy, and it was really exciting because it was so scary. I remember being terrified, and it kind of worked as a therapy, really, to redraw it. it was like, now I'm done with the Grand High Witch. I've drawn her. So that really helped. Yeah.
That's really awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. I'm going to also share a few pages from one of my graphic novels, from Guts, which is my most recent. And this scene takes place when Raina and her sister Amara, and yes, I'm talking in the third person, even though it is a memoir, are drawing pictures in their room after dinner. So she's jamming to her music on her Walkman headphones, and she's drawing a little comic where her mom's drinking a cup of coffee. Mom, can you come up here? What is it, Raina? You okay? Are you sick again, honey? I think so. I didn't puke, but the thought that I might was worse than if I actually had. Is Raina sick, Mom? Yes, she needs to rest. Sick isn't quite the right word for it, but something was definitely wrong. What a fun chapter of my life. So back to fun. We did collect some questions from the Graphix Instagram channel. Thank you for everybody who submitted questions for our panelists. And these are for all of you, so feel free to jump in, ask each other versions of the questions if you feel inspired to do so. The first question is, you're gonna love it, how did you decide that you wanted to be a graphic novelist?
I can jump in. So I realized that I loved drawing, and then I had all these like ideas in my head, and I was like, wait a minute, I can just combine the two and do storytelling and make comics and stuff like that. And so I think it was just a need for me to like get all of these ideas that are just clouding my brain all the time and get them on paper and then like share them. So that's kind of when I knew. I just wanted to see my ideas on like realized.
I think for me, it's something I've been doing my whole life. Anytime there was a time that a teacher would say, have a creative project, there was 100% chance I was doing a comic. And I would always make stories out of essays, or in English class in high school, all the books we read, I made mock cliff notes of all the books and did kind of like a Mad Magazine satire. So I've kind of been doing this always with writing, drawing, and humor. And I love the combination of all three of them in this medium. So it's completely perfect.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same. It's just that I remember growing up thinking there are two things I really love more than anything. It's telling stories and drawing. And I thought, if only there was a way I could combine both. And that's why at first I thought I'd work in animation, which was stupid because I could work in comics. But I couldn't choose between telling stories and drawing, so that made sense.
This is
Varian,
really interesting.
Yeah, you came from the novelist world, so
Exactly.
your perspective is going to be different.
Yeah, I know. I think it's amazing hearing all you guys talk about it. And for me, it was a little different. I grew up reading comic books. I loved and still love comic books. But it wasn't until later that I discovered that, writing graphic novels was a possibility. And I love the freedom of the form. I love that there's so many things about it that you can do in a graphic novel, in a comic, that you can't really do in a traditional, and I hate even using that word, novel, in a prose novel, let's say, with changing angles and point of view. It's just, I don't know, it's really freeing, and I love it.
That's awesome. The second question we got is, what are your favorite comics or graphic novels by Black creators?
Ooh, I actually brought some to show. So,
yeah.
There's this one called Hot Cone by Ebony Flowers that just won an Ignatz. So this is a good one. I have like a bunch. Gleam by Freddie Carrasco also just won an Ignatz. Amazing, just gorgeous. There's a comic by Richie Pope, who's one of my good friends. We went to Richmond together, called That Box We Sit On. And then his name is Ronald Wimberly, but I call him Ron and just sometimes Uncle Ron. And this is a ginormous comic, but it's called The Prince of Cats. by him, which is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, but in like an urban setting, and it's really cool, and Ron's amazing. And yeah, so these are just some of my faves. And then my friend Olivia Stevens has a graphic novel coming out, her debut graphic novel next year, called Artie and the Wolf Moon. So I'm looking forward to that one. So.
Those are some great. I wish I had brought some of mine. My daughter steals all of my graphic novels, so often I have to go hunting in her room for them. Certainly, there's New Kid by Jerry Craft. I love that novel. It won the Newbery last year. And there, do I have? Oh, I do have it. Hold on, I'm going to slide back. And there's the March trilogy. This is March Book 3, written by the late Representative John Lewis and Andrew Aden, illustrated by Nate Powell. Which is really amazing, really fantastic, really, really powerful. I suggest that for everyone. And then there's a couple of prose novelists that have some graphic novel adaptations coming out. Kwame Alexander has the crossover, or maybe it already came out, has come out, and Jason Reynolds' Long Way Down is being adapted as a graphic novel as well, too. So.
I'm also going to add to Class Act. Jerry's new book is coming out on October 8th, I think, or the 1st, soon. And Jerry lives nearby here in Connecticut. So I'm super excited for him. I can't wait to see Class Act come out.
I want to talk about a French woman. Her name is Marguerite Abouet, and she did an amazing series called Aya, and then another for kids called Akiti. And it's so, yay!
I have the other one behind me.
Yeah, and this is so amazing. This is my automatic gift for kids. Akisi, the other one. It's the story of a little girl in Ivory Coast. Her name is Akisi, and she does like, yes, and she's so funny, and she does like, she's a nightmare to a parent, honestly, because she does so much mischief and she's crazy. But kids just love it because it's so transgressive. It's crazy. And it's so much fun. And she was actually nominated for an Eisner this year. And I really love her work. Her name is Marguerite Abouet. I adore this woman. So everything she does is great.
That's an amazing list. Thank you, everybody. And finally, what advice would you give to a young writer who's trying to make their first book?
Varian,
oh, go ahead. You guys go first.
I have thoughts. I have many thoughts on this. I talk to a lot of young writers, and I always tell them to read first and read everything. I think sometimes we have a favorite type of book that we love, and we want to dismiss other types. And there's so much we learn about the craft and what we like and what we don't like by reading what we like and what we don't like as well too. And we can take pieces of this and pieces of that and put it together. So I always tell young readers to read everything first. And then when they write, try to write without worrying about what comes after, or editing or publishing, all that stuff. I mean, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Just write what you feel, and you can always fix it later on. But what do you guys say?
I was going to say, don't let your inner critic get in the way. And I think a fun feature that all artists have is this self-doubt feature. And it's a good thing. It makes us better. It pushes us, but it can also stop us dead in our tracks. So I think for me, I don't think it's ever going to go away. I think it's always going to be there, but I think I'm getting better and better at managing it. So it's there, just say hi and just have it sit over there and get out of the way. I'm trying to get work done, because I think it's a good thing, but just don't let it stop you.
Yeah, I would say, and this is something I've recently had to like learn while in quarantine and just this year, is just get those ideas out. It doesn't matter if nothing really makes sense right now. You can go back and edit. I know that was stopping me a lot from writing because I wanted everything to just be perfect. I was like, this sentence structure has to be perfect. This stream of thought has to be perfect. And I was just holding myself back from just even starting. And then, you just get it all out and then you can rework it later. And you can also, I would say with writing, lean on those around you and your friends. If you have an idea, pass it around and say, hey, can you take a look at this? Can you do a quick read over? Can you give me some notes? Yeah, so that's my writing advice.
Yeah, I would say go and show your work. Really show your work. Don't keep it to yourself, and find someone who's who's kind and show your work, because the minute that you write something and somebody else reads it, you're an author. Then you're an author because someone else reads it and feels something while reading it. So it's probably the hardest step, I think, is to show your work, but you really have to do it at some point. So yeah, go on.
I would agree with every one of those pieces of advice. Thank you all. And thank you to Graphix for setting our panel up for us. Thank you to the New York Comic Con for having us as part of their Metaverse. You can find all of our work online, and we're all available, and we hope that you will check our books out and support each other, support yourselves. Thank you all so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
you.
Thanks, Raina. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Raina.